Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna be doing the mid-year book freakout tag, and I have them all written in a little piece of paper because not I will forget. The first one is best book you have read so far in 2024, and for that one I'm gonna insert the picture right here because I don't have it. I listened to the audiobook and it was The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. It was just so beautifully written and it was just so nice to like hear her side of the story, and it was just so tragic, like everything she went through. It was just like awful. Like I felt genuinely so bad for her. So for me, the best book I've read so far this year was hands down The Woman in Me. And honestly, this year has not been the best reading year. I think I've read like maybe 1 or 2 5 stars, and everything else has been like either 3, and I've had a lot of 2 and 1 stars, and I'm like not vibing with that. So we need to try to fix that for the second half of the year to have like banging reads. The second question is the best book you've read so far, best sequel you've read so far this year. And for me, it was Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. I just love every Heartstopper volume. I think it's so great how she talks about like anxiety and just like so many different like eating disorders and like just so many like different mental health struggles that people go through. So it's just very nice to see someone talk about it, and it's just so popular, and I love it. Like I just love Nick and Charlie. They're like my OTP couple. They're just great together. So Heartstopper Volume 5 has been my favorite sequel this year. I haven't read too many sequels. I've been basically reading mainly standalones, so this was a little bit harder, but Heartstopper takes the cake because it's just such a great novel. Well, graphic novel. So if you guys have not read Heartstopper, I highly recommend to watch all of them and then to watch the show because it's just so good. Okay, a new release that I want to read that I haven't read yet, I do not own, but I do want to buy it soon, is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I'm gonna put a picture here. I don't know what it's about, and when it comes to Riley Sager books, I don't read what they're about. I just go into them blindly and I love them. My favorite Riley Sager book is Home Before Dark. I was supposed to say Middle of the Night. Home Before Dark. I loved it. I didn't love the ending because like he gave me everything I wanted, and then in the end he took it all away from me. But it's okay. It happens. But that is my favorite Riley Sager book. I did give it 5 stars because I was just so hooked. But the ending was not my favorite part, but I still love the book. So Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I'm just so excited. I've read every single Riley Sager book. Well, except for 2. I'm like a third of the way through, only one left. The one that she's like a caretaker for the woman that can't speak or anything anymore, and they thought that she murdered her family and then survived the night. Those are the only 2 that I'm missing, but every other book I've read, and I love them. They're just so fun. Riley Sager is one of my favorite like thriller writers, because a lot of times thrillers are very, very predictable and I hate that, but I love Riley Sager. Okay, and then most anticipated release for the second half of 2024 is Wrath of the Triple Goddess, which is the second book in like the new like I think it's 2 or 3 book like little series that Rick Riordan is doing for Percy Jackson, which is the second book to the Chalice of the Gods. I'm very excited about it because Percy Jackson is my favorite series ever. So when Rick Riordan was like, I'm gonna add to Percy Jackson, I'm like, hell yeah you are. Like I love Percy and Annabeth and Grover. I loved the Chalice of the Gods. It wasn't my favorite because it didn't feel as like adventurous and as high stake as like the other 5 books, and that's what I loved about them, but I still really enjoyed it. So I'm like super excited. I don't know what it's about. I don't want to know what it's about. I just know that it's Percy Jackson. That's Percy, Annabeth, and Grover, and I'm like sold. Okay, for biggest disappointment, I have 2 books. One of them I already got rid of. I'll just put it here. Is Skin at the Sea. I thought it was gonna be this like beautiful mermaid tale, and it just wasn't it for me. It wasn't giving. These are my 2 1-star books. I had a lot of 2 stars, so I was like, this is gonna be difficult. But I was like, I'm just gonna put the 2 that were 1 stars, which was Skin of the Sea, which I did not vibe with it. I didn't like it. And then Daughter of the Deep by Uncle Rick. I was floored. I was like, what? It's Rick Riordan. But like I wasn't loving it. I feel like it wasn't very like it was weird. Maybe if I would have read the 1001 Leagues Under the Sea, something like that, the original book, that this was kind of like based on or whatever they were talking about, maybe I would have enjoyed it more, but I really just wasn't into it. So I haven't gotten rid of this one because it's Rick Riordan, and I'm like, But this one might be one that I'll eventually be like, toodles, you know? That way I'll make more space on my shelves, but this one was a disappointment, just like skin of the sea. Did not love them. The next one is biggest surprise of the year, and that is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. Not because of anything, because I love Lynn Painter and I love how just relatable her YA books are, and they're just so funny, and there's like so much Taylor Swift and like I guess like everyday like what I like to think of content. But this is like the Groundhog Day thing that you keep repeating that day over and over and over again. I'm like, no thank you. But I love the book, so this was my biggest surprise, because I was like, I'm gonna buy it because it's Lynn Painter, but like this is probably gonna be my least favorite book of hers. This is my second favorite book of hers. I loved The Do-Over. It was just so good, like honestly so good. So I highly recommend The Do-Over. My favorite one is Better Than the Movies, then The Do-Over, and then Betting on You. I didn't love Betting on You just because the guy was like weird and creepy sometimes. I was like, you're doing too much. But I loved The Do-Over. We have new favorite author, and I put Lynn Painter just because, like I said, I have been enjoying her books. I love The Do-Over, I love Better Than the Movies, and I enjoyed Betting on You. And I am so excited for her new book to come out. I'm like, yes please. So just Lynn Painter. I think it's like a very nice quick read that you can just, at least her YA books, I have not read her adult ones, but her YA books are just quick reads, and like I suffer from a lot of anxiety, so just reading them when I have anxiety, it feels like a fast quick read that I could just get my mind out of the gutter and like focus on that. For our newest fictional crush, we're also using Lynn Painter again. This is back-to-back Lynn Painter, and that is Nick from The Do-Over. He was just like so sweet, so nice. Like he tried to be that bad boy, but he really wasn't, obviously, you know. But he was just so sweet and so nice to her, and like he like always liked her, and like I loved him. He was just so sweet. So I think he's my newest fictional crush. Like, no, I would not want to date him because he's in high school. That's weird. But he was just so sweet to her, and like they belong together. And like look at the little tabs. Can't really see them that well, but those are like little moments that I enjoyed. But yeah. So The Do-Over, Nick, we got it. For new favorite character, I've watched the movies for the first time ever this year, and I started reading her books this year, and that is Padme Amidala, or Padme Nabiri, which is her real name. I love her. She's just a bad bee, but she's also very sensitive, very caring, but she's like, I'm gonna defend myself. I'm no damsel in distress. So we just love Padme. Padme is our new favorite character, book-wise and movie-wise. She's just that bee, you know what I mean? We stand. Thank you, Natalie Portman, for bringing her to life. Okay, so no book has really made me cry this year. I haven't read any sad books, but a book that I cried while reading, it was Betting on You, but it was just because I was going through so much anxiety that while I was reading like the last 100 pages, it was so bad that I was just crying out everything going on here, and then I was like, oh my god, this happened to her, and then I just started crying about her and about myself. That's life. So Betting on You by Lynn Painter, it was that book that made me kind of be like, oh my god. But not because just what was going on in the book, but like it was just like everything that was going on with me in my brain, and then reading this, it was just like, that's it. That was the cherry on top of the sundae. I was like, no, and then I cried. So Betting on You by Lynn Painter, but it's not a sad book. It was just what I was going through, and then this was just like, no, my brain was like, no, that's it. So Betting on You. Okay, for a book that made me happy, I have The Chalice of the Gods by Rick Riordan, which is the, I guess, sixth book in the Percy Jackson series. It made me happy, not because just of what was going on in here, but because we finally got to experience Percy, Annabeth, and Grover being like the main parts of the story. Because yeah, they come out in the other like Rick Riordan ones, but it's not the same because they're not like the main characters, like all three of them together. So I was like, yes, we got the original trio back. So that's why it was this one. And also I did enjoy it. Okay, favorite book to movie adaptation this year. None of the books that I've read were adapted into movies, but I guess Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, I'll put it right here, which is Colin and Penelope's story. I loved the first half of the season, but the second half just like wasn't it for me. Like I was like, where was all that like spice that they were talking about? Where was all that like crazy stuff? it wasn't on there. So it was kind of disappointing in that sense, but I still did really love the show. I just hate that they talked so much about other stories. Like, focus on Colin and Penelope, please. But Romancing Mr. Bridgerton was, I guess, my favorite book to screen adaptation. Next one is The Most Beautiful Book You've Bought This Year. I haven't bought that many like beautiful books this year, so I guess I would have to say The Selected Poems of Emily Dickinson. And it's like these like Barnes and Noble like exclusive covers that just look like this, and then the side have like the gold edges. That's basically it. I haven't bought many like beautiful books. I've just been buying books by like what they say, you know what I mean, like the synopsis and stuff, not really just by like the cover. But I guess this one is a very beautiful book. And the last one is What Books Do You Really Need to Read by the End of the Year? And I have a couple of books that, obviously all the books that are in my 2024 book, 24 books to read in 2024, but these are like my top 3 that I want to read. I was just getting 3 books. The first one is The Storm of Echoes by Christelle Dabos, which is book 4 and the final book in the series. I have started it already. I am 82 pages into it. I just want to finish it already to like finish this series. That's why it's like a top priority of the ones that I want to finish, because once I finish this, I'm done with this series. The next one is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, just because this is the second book in the duology, and that'll obviously help me finish the duology. So I just want to finish it and see what goes on. I enjoyed book 1, but it was like a 3 stars for me. Everybody loved it and was like 5 stars, 5 stars, but for me it was just, it kind of fell flat. It was more of like a 3 stars, but I do want to read Muse of Nightmares since I already own it and just finish the series off. And then I've been wanting to read for a while now, and now it's like coming out everywhere. And it was funny because I thought about it the other day, I was like, I just want to read this book, but I was like, it's kind of chunky and I'm like not in the mood for it right now. But guess what? Your girl, not that I wasn't in the mood, I was in the mood for it, I just didn't want to commit to such a big book. And then so many people have been talking about it lately that I'm just like, what? So it's 11/22/63 by Stephen King. These 3 books are all in my 24 books to read by the end of 2024. So these are, I guess, my top priorities, but it's just chunky. Okay. Chunky. So this is him going back in time to try to stop John F. Kennedy's assassination. So I'm excited. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the mid-year book freakout tag, and that you know, you guys are on track with your goals of what you want to read. Let me know what have been your like best books this year, because like I need to read some good books. So if you could let me know in the comments down below, please like and subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.